Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now today we're not going to talk about Tesla, we are going to talk about the studio, which as some of you already know, I built from scratch last year. I started out in April and then gradually built it up with all the different decorations and the sound treatments and all that kind of stuff over a few months. And now that it's finished, I wanted to show you guys what is in here and how did I do it and what does it take to get a studio like this. So the first thing is the studio itself, of course. So this is my garden shed, basically where I'm in, and I built a separate shack inside of it. There used to be a sauna here, which I sold, and that helped pay a little bit for this as well. We'll come back to the cost at the end of the video. Now, I built this in a wooden frame structure with OSB plates on the outside or boards on the outside, 12mm stick, and then I have a frame of 45mm stick with sound insulation, which is made of recycled jeans. So I'm trying to be a little bit environment friendly there as well. But that recycled jeans are more like very dense panels, which is very good for sound insulation as well. And I have it a double layer on the roof because the roof is like a double roof. You have the roof of the studio, and on top of that is just an uninsulated roof with shingles on top of it. So if it rains, the sound deadening is necessary from the top, of course, if I'm in the studio. And then on the inside, I got an 18mm watertight MDF board all around, so for the sides and for the ceiling as well. Specifically chose that with different densities to get even more sound insulation. So 12mm on the outside, 18 on the inside. Now, if you also look here, this is an actual sauna door, right? From a wooden sauna. I found that luckily because it was one of the last. Usually now it's like these glass doors, but this has a triple lock. So you got a triple weave in there, which is good for sound insulation. Again, it's double glazed, and because it's jams shut, it doesn't rattle at all. So that's also good for the sound insulation. On the outside, I have a light that's hanging there, an LED light with a sign that tells the kids and the wife that I'm recording or I'm in a meeting, because I also use this for my meetings at work. For example, when I'm working from home, I use it for recording videos for work also, which I do to educate them on some things that are quality related. As head of quality, I try to educate the guys at work as well on the different things and tools they can use to improve quality. So that's there, the light, to let them know that I'm recording at the moment. Now, when we talk about lighting, then we need to see what is all involved here. So you see a couple of things, but you also see a couple of things that are hidden from view a little bit. So up here, it's very barely visible. So this strip here, that's a high refresh rate RGB light, which I don't normally use for recording, but I use it as my general studio light when I'm editing the videos, for example. Up front here, we have a key light air from Elgato. Most of my gear is from Elgato. I really love the company. That's a key light air. That's another key light air. And this is a ring light, which is at the same time the mount for my camera, which I'll come back to in a few minutes. Then I have these two RGB lights right here, which are the EVZ G2. They are very powerful. Currently, they are set to only 50%, so they can go a lot brighter than this, but as you can see, they light up perfectly for the background. And then I have one more hair light on top of me, and that hair light, well, as you can see, no hair. I don't use it because if I try to use it, let me show you what happens. Well, then I do get this little thing popping up on my head, and I could use some makeup to eliminate that. Let me just shut that off again. So, but the idea is that I could also rent out the studio to other people. That basically gets the shoulders lit. Let me show you again. So it lights up the shoulders a little bit and it separates you a little bit more from the background. That's the idea for the hair light. But if you don't have hair, you either wear a baseball cap, which I also don't like, or you use makeup, which I haven't tried yet. So we'll see, but I'm happy with this result. I think that it separates me enough from the background, which is about 1 meter 20, something like that, away from me. It's not like I'm standing straight against the wall. Now let's talk a little bit about the video equipment. So what you see here is the Sony a6400 with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens, which is a very good lens with a wide angle, and the f1.4 stop. Make sure that I'm in focus and the background is a little bit blurred, so that gives that little bokeh that many people are looking for, and I really like that. It keeps the focus on the item at hand there. And to use that, or to be able to use that camera, the reason why I use it is that this is a camera that has clean HDMI out, which means that you don't see any of the program information that you see now on that screen. Where you see the volume meters going, you don't see that in the stream itself. And to do that, there's an HDMI out cable that goes to this CalDigit TS3 in the back, where it connects. And you really need this dock, because if you use more than one of those cameras, which I usually do, they go into this little item, which is Ecamm Link 4K, which turns your HDMI into a USB port, and it basically turns your camera into a webcam, and you bring that into your software, and the high quality camera is becoming a webcam that you can use for your meetings. Now this one is currently not plugged in. I usually use the second one to hook up my laptop to get a different view. Like for example, this one where I would present, and then next to me there's a document that is being shown like I do in the live streams. This is something where I would then use this one to hook up my laptop and stream the laptop's screen to my output. Now I could hook up another camera to that as well, but if you use more than one of those things, you cannot rely on just your computer anymore to supply enough power. So it's a power source for USB devices, basically. When we talk about sound, it is of course important in two ways. First of all, you need to have the proper sound, but of course you need to have the sound deadening, which I briefly touched on already. But let's go into a little bit more detail here. So for sound as a microphone, I use the Sennheiser MKE600, which is an XLR microphone, and I mounted it on a boom. As you can see it here, it's attached to the table. Everything is attached to the table. And here it is. It's a shotgun microphone. And for me, the reason why I use a shotgun microphone and not the usual podcast microphones is that the podcast microphones, the USB microphones, the Shure SMB7, for example, which is a very excellent microphone, it's in your face, and you need to be really close to it. And that means that it needs to be in camera or on the camera, and I don't like that. So I want it to be out of view. And right now, here I am touching the microphone, so it's just out of view of the camera, close enough to my mouth to capture the sound in a qualitative way. Now the sound is then recorded into this Rodecaster Pro, which has the ability to have 4 XLR channels, a USB channel, a phone connection with a wire, and a Bluetooth device here. And next to it, I can have some sound effects play with these buttons, which I currently don't use. So the whole device is a little bit overkill at the moment, because I'm only using one channel for now, but it is with the thoughts that maybe in the future I could do like maybe a 2 people podcast. I need to do or I need to have a separate XLR mic, for example. And the Go XLR would have been a lot smaller, but that's only Windows and I'm working on Mac. Right now, what a good option would be is the Wave XLR from Elgato also, which takes one input but gives you basically the same settings that you have here to get your audio right.